find a general understanding so that we can then have a discussion. How do we find the right people to help us with this? How do we get involved in this area? How do we improve Wikipedia in this way? I mean, one of the things about the Wikipedia community is that there's incredible passion about quality, and we really want it to be something that everyone can feel comfortable with. Well, we're trying. We'll see what happens.
Buonasera, Mr. Wilson. Il numero di servizi che viene offerto oggi su Internet prende la definizione di Web 2.0, intendendo dire che è un'evoluzione che ha dato un salto notevole di differenza rispetto al passato. Lei si riconosce in questa definizione o pensa piuttosto che possa essere più corretta una idea di evoluzione continua? E in questo senso quale può essere l'evoluzione dei social network, visto che nasce e muore nello spazio magari di un periodo piuttosto limitato, non è il caso di Wikipedia che oramai è una realtà molto consolidata, ma altri servizi tipo Facebook o Twitter, tanto per fare due nomi, che vivono un periodo in questo momento di grande successo, però a loro volta hanno soppiantato altri servizi precedenti e magari in futuro, chissà, potrebbero sparire come sono nati. Qual è la sua opinione, per piacere? Grazie.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So Wikipedia is, of course, very much considered part of Web 2.0, and so are all of these things, Facebook and Flickr, and lots of things. So I actually think so. What's interesting is the whole idea of Web 2.0 was when Tim O'Reilly he took a look at the internet and he thought backwards in time to what the internet was like in say 1996, and he said, wow, actually things have changed a lot, and he recognized we actually are already in Web 2.0 era, and it happened to us in the gradual change way. We suddenly realized, wow, like everybody is doing things in collaborative groups, and there's a lot of interactivity, a lot of new software that's changing the way people are using the web. And so he identified it after the fact. Well, as soon as he said it, it became an enormously popular term because I think he made a really valid observation. There really has been a significant change in the internet and how it functions since 1996, and there is a good reason to call it Web 2.0. Well, but of course, as soon as we had Web 2.0, immediately people started saying, well, what's Web 3.0 going to be? And I believe that, I believe two things about what Web 3.0 will be. So first of all, I believe that right now we have very heavily algorithm-driven or, like computer-generated sites like Google, where they're using massive amounts of computers to process lots and lots of data to generate search results. That's the algorithmic part. Then we have the human part, which is things like Wikipedia, where the computers make no decisions. It's a very simple website, ultimately. And that's very Web 2.0. So Google is really Web 1.0, the Web 2.0. For me, Web 3.0 will be combinations of that, where we are having more computer intelligent assistance with things that humans want to do, and hybrid websites that are doing a bit of both. And in fact, already I think Facebook is somehow a little bit like this, because when you're on Facebook, the things that they're showing you, the choices that they're making are based on your behaviors, and they're crunching a lot of data to help make the site more enjoyable for you, but it's still, everything going on, it's just humans like posting their vacation pictures and things like this. So the first thing I think is that Web 3.0 is going to be the combination of human and computer intelligence to generate new things. The other thing I think about Web 3.0 is that I'm probably wrong. And in fact, someday somebody will look around and say, wow, look, things are totally different from in 2009, and here's what's different, and we should call this Web 3.0, and everybody will say, wow, that's right, it's amazing, we're in Web 3.0, we didn't even notice it. And at that time, whether I'm the one who called it ahead of time or not, I doubt, so I don't know what's coming. A lot of people are thinking semantic web is Web 3.0. That could very well be. If someone can explain to me what semantic web is, I would be very happy, and then I might know if I think that's valid or not. So then the other thing you asked was about the future of social networking sites in particular, things like Facebook and Twitter. Well, it's really difficult for me to predict what will happen with Twitter. I think Twitter faces a lot of challenges. They're growing very quickly, but I'm finding Twitter is very noisy, and I'm getting a lot of spam, and I see some problems that they need to solve soon before people begin to say, oh yeah, Twitter, we used to do that, but it was overrun by things I didn't like, and it was too much trouble to control it. Twitter, of course, quite famously has had a lot of technical difficulties in the early days. And the site, even yesterday, I went to try to post something that said, sorry, too many people are on Twitter, I can't help you right now. And they have their famous fail whale graphic. And so they need to solve that very, very much. Facebook, on the other hand, I am very optimistic for Facebook. I mean, I think that they are going to continue growing very quickly. I think they're going to pass Yahoo within the next year or two to become, in the very top rank of websites in terms of popularity. And I think there's something very interesting about Facebook that is going to cause a lot of noise. We're going to hear a lot about it in the future. And that is, unlike Google, so everybody talks about Google as being a potential monopoly, but with a search engine, if half the room is using one search engine and half the room is using the other search engine, it doesn't really affect anything. It doesn't bother me. If my friends use a different search engine from me, they can. I've been using Bing from Microsoft lately, which in English is quite good. I'm mostly using it just because I wanted to try something new. I understand Bing is not good in other languages, but I don't really know. But in English, it's quite good. And so I'm using Bing. No one I know has even noticed that I'm using Bing because it doesn't affect anybody else. And the fact that other people are using Google doesn't affect me, so it's easy to switch. Therefore, Google doesn't have the kind of lock-in that we see in a lot of technology. So I think it's impossible, at least on the search part of it, for Google to become a monopoly. With Facebook, it's very different. With Facebook, I'm on Facebook. All my friends are on Facebook. If I hear about a new social network and it sounds like they've got better software and I want to switch to it, it's very hard. What do? I convince my... well, I have too many friends on Facebook. I won't embarrass myself by saying how many, but my few dozen friends to move. I have to convince everyone to move, otherwise it's not possible to move. So there is a network effect that causes lock-in at Facebook, and I think Facebook is a brilliant company in terms of constantly innovating. They're still willing to take risks. I think it's probably about every 6 months when they make everybody mad by changing something on Facebook, and then they have to take it back because no one liked it. But they're willing to innovate still. They're doing very creative things. They're changing Facebook a lot. They're really tracking user behavior. And they're growing and growing and growing and growing. And I don't think Facebook is going anywhere. I think the earlier companies who were in social networking never quite figured it out and failed. I mean, they must be killing themselves today because they could have, Friendster could have been Facebook, but Friendster had huge downtime problems. There were times when it took 30 seconds to load a page and they lost their customers because of it. Whereas Facebook has been very aggressively making sure the site's always running, it's always fast. Well, I guess everybody's seen Facebook be broken sometimes, but it's mostly okay. So I think Facebook is really going to become one of the dominant internet companies, and they're going to be something like a monopoly, and it's going to cause a lot of very interesting discussions about what that means.
Bene, mi pare che possiamo... C'è ancora tempo per una brevissima domanda.
Sì, salve. Ascolti, volevo chiedere, qual è la vostra relazione, anzi, voi interagite con delle università dal punto di vista accademico, voi avete delle...
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's funny, I have to do this. Maybe this one.
Channel 2.
Hello?
Salve.
Okay, yeah.
Allora, volevo chiedere, dal punto di vista delle vostre relazioni con il mondo accademico, voi avete delle collaborazioni con delle università, soprattutto poi per quel che riguarda il contenuto tecnico, cioè un contenuto che poche persone magari possono realmente, a cui poche persone possono realmente contribuire. Voi riuscite in qualche modo a sopperire a questa mancanza? Questa è la prima domanda. La seconda domanda è, in diverse lingue, una cosa che mi è successa di vedere con Wikipedia è che è vero, che ci sono degli argomenti che vengono trattati in modo esaustivo e in modo imparziale. Peccato che però il concetto di imparzialità da un paese all'altro può variare. Una cosa che può essere imparziale in Italia non lo sarà in Russia, se fosse riportata nello stesso identico modo, la comunità